education, every student future ready strategic plan, increased certifications and college credit. The strategic plan focuses on 4 long-term goals. Goal number 3 is designed to increase the number of graduating seniors who complete a rigorous career pathway and certifications through CTE by 10% by the year 2023. Tonight's presentation will highlight year 2 of the 5-year plan for goal number 3 and describe the implementation of action plans and measurements in order to monitor the improvement of Wichita Public Schools certifications and college credit opportunities. This presentation is for the board's information.
Thank you. How appropriate you're doing this the same night we have the CTE awards here, so thank you.
Well, thank you. We are extremely excited to be able to not only celebrate our CTE recipients this evening, but also to be able to share with you the progress that's being made across the district related to our goal number 3. So, thank you. Anything you want to add?
Nope.
Okay, all right. So, before we get into talking about the data, we want to once again begin to talk about how we got here. Looking at the journey that has taken place, we know that it started with the input of thousands of stakeholders and then the approval of your board, of the board approving the strategic plan in April 2018. This plan has become known to our community as the Every Student Future Ready Strategic Plan. And so that plan includes 4 big goals that you identified as being extremely important in realizing what our vision is, our mission, and those 4 goals include increasing graduation rate, increasing 3rd grade reading proficiency, increasing certification and college credit, and that our schools are trusted as safe places. And so prior to this evening, you've heard us talk about goal number 4, which highlighted safety, as well as goal number 1, increasing graduation rates. And so tonight we're going to dive in much deeper into the wildly important goal number 3 that speaks to the priority of increasing our credits, career certification, and career pathway completion. We will finish with our data dives next month when we bring to you goal number 2, which will highlight increasing reading proficiency. And then we also look forward to coming back in April. At that time, we'll highlight all of the accomplishments of year 2 and our vision for year 3, which also coincides with the 150th year of public education in Wichita. For those that would like to learn more about our strategic plan work, you can go to our website at www.usd259.org/future-ready. And so last month, we talked about how our graduates are Wichita's future, and we highlighted the number of graduates. More than 200,000 graduates have shaped Wichita's legacy. We heard loud and clear in 2017 during the listening sessions that our students should have not only access to rigorous college preparation, but also that they should have exposure as well as experience in career opportunities that will shape their future. Your plan, our Every Student Future Ready plan, reflects the community's expectation. And as proud as we are of all of the amazing experiences our students have today, we will be even more excited about the future as we work with the community partners that we have in both in education as well as in the industry to amplify the opportunities we offer in each of our schools from pre-K through 12. And so from your Volume 2 Strategic Plan document, the goal statement reads, by 2023, the number of graduating seniors who complete a rigorous career pathway or certifications through CTE will increase by 10%. The baseline numbers we presented to you focused on the completion of rigorous career pathways. You will hear more in a moment about a second lag measure that we've identified that will also support our top-level measurement of success. In previous presentations, you have heard us talk about how our work directly relates to the state's Kansas Can strategic plan, and the work in this goal, number 3, is no exception. This strategic goal actually aligns with 2 of the state's Kansas Can goals, specifically their goal around individual plans of study and post-secondary success. The state's goal for individual plan of studies calls for every middle school and high school student to have an individual plan of study. You will see in a moment that we share that goal as well. Additionally, KSDE's measurement of post-secondary success calls for industry-recognized certifications, pathway completion, AP success, post-secondary enrollment and retention, and ACT performance. And again, you will see that your plan reflects those same priorities. And so I would also add that there's one other Kansas Can initiative, that is civic engagement, which is directly supported by our work in this goal area, and also in each of our other 3 goals. So as you can see, your Every Student Future Ready plan aligns fully with KSDE's Kansas Can strategic plan. So, previously, we have shared one success measure for this goal. That is our pathway completion. In the Wichita Public Schools, as you heard earlier from Mr. Means, we offer 26 career pathways in 7 areas as defined by KSDE. We've provided each of you with a handout representing the robust array of opportunities in the CT area that we provide Wichita Public School students. Our CTE pathways include high-demand career areas, including aviation maintenance and production, early childhood, engineering, marketing, manufacturing, and teaching, to name a few. So, as you mentioned, President Logan, it was timely that our Goal 3 presentation tonight occurred during CTE month, as we celebrate the extraordinary young people who have been recognized as outstanding achievers in their chosen pathways. Not only do I want to recognize the students and the teachers who make these opportunities real every day in our classrooms, but I also want to ask Jim Means, if he's back, to please stand. Because Jim is actually recognized, keep standing, yes, recognized across our state as a leader in the CTE field. And he has had a tremendous leadership role in what we are sharing with you this evening. But also, we want to recognize him publicly because Jim is actually planning to retire at the end of this school year. He's had a long, successful career, reaching thousands of students as they have worked their way through career pathways and made decisions about future plans based upon his leadership and the teams that he works with. So just want to say publicly to thank you, Jim. So, also tonight, we are introducing a second lag measure to support your goal of increasing certifications by 10%. We know that opportunities exist, many that are within our pathways for our students to earn certifications that represent career development and accomplishments. All of those who earn those certifications may not be seniors, and students may earn multiple certifications through their high school career. Prior to the creation of your strategic plan, this was not necessarily something that we emphasized as a district, but that has changed. What I want to present to you tonight includes the baseline data from 2018-19 which represents 164 students who have completed certifications such as Certified Nurse Assistant, Foundations of Safe and Health, Early Care, Automotive Service, Occupational Safety and Health Administration, and Home Health Aid. So consistent with your challenge to us to set a growth goal, we are articulating this evening that we have a baseline of 164 that we will increase by a minimum of 10%. With that said, I believe we will see significant growth in this area as our instructors both collect as well as report this data and also look for new opportunities to challenge our students with career certification opportunities. Ultimately, a third measure pertaining to college credits earned will become a part of this goals dashboard. However, as we've learned, we must put systems in place to be able to accurately be able to collect that data. So that's something that we're in the process of doing at this time, and we look forward to bringing you a measurable goal in this area that will reflect the number of credit opportunities that our students are actually earning in the district. So you've heard us talk before in the context of 4 disciplines of execution about lag measures, the data which tracks the success of our wildly important goals, sometimes we also refer to as our WIGs. These are called lag measures because by the time you see them, the performance that drove them has already passed us. Graduation rate is an example of a lag measure, and that's because there are things that are occurring every day that we are doing that will ultimately have an impact on that annual goal. So, lead measures, on the other hand, are both predictive, meaning they lead to the accomplishments of the wildly important, and they are influenceable, meaning we can do something about them. We have 4 significant lead measures to share with you tonight. We know that the key to success is focus, and we will continue to monitor our progress. You may see when we come back to you in April that we've added some additional goals as well as indicators, and we'll share that with you in Volume 3 presentation in April.
So it's now my turn to talk about the lead measures that are going to directly impact those lag measures that Dr. Irving had just talked about. I'm going to start with lead measure. The first one is the individual plan of study. The purpose of individual plans of study help our students set educational goals and create a roadmap for success in high school and beyond. This roadmap or individual plan of study includes the development of a flexible career focus and an educational plan that is clearly defined and relevant to assure a successful and efficient transition to post-secondary education and or the workforce. To ensure our 6th through 12th grade students are creating an individual plan of study, we use an online platform called Zello. Zello engages students beginning in 6th grade to explore career interests and their own learning styles. Students begin building a resume and track their career opportunities. A great example of making the IPOS relevant to students is Hamilton's Future Ready Day partnered with Reality U, WSU Tech's Maker Mobile Lab, the Workforce Alliance of South Central Kansas, and Wichita West High School to prepare future-ready 8th graders. The students spent the entire day rotating between hands-on activities, building career awareness, and investing in their own educational journey. Each session fostered excitement and opened the eyes of students to career exploration and preparation for high school. Kudos to Principal Justin Castle and Counselor Lee Casper for planning and organizing this event. I know our CTE department also helped in this event. So as you can see on the slide, our goal is 100% of seniors will have a college or career plan. Students who have completed the IPOS have selected nearly 20,000 careers to explore and learn about. So as Dr. Irving mentioned earlier, our goal here aligns directly with KSDE's expectation for all Kansas kids. Lead measure, the next one, is around completion of Algebra 1 by the end of 9th grade. We know Algebra 1 as an early warning indicator for graduation success, so it is important to provide supports as we look at 9th graders coming in to complete Algebra 1. These supports can include anything from looking at it as an early warning indicator, tutoring, homework hotline, but specifically we do have a support for students that may be struggling a little bit in Algebra 1 with our Foundations to Algebra class that can prepare and support our students to complete Algebra 1 as well. So we will continue to look and monitor our Algebra 1 success. We know that if students can complete that by the end of their 9th grade year, the chances are higher for students to be on track to graduate. The next lead measure is around rigorous college credit opportunities. It is amazing at what our district has to offer for our students, including 126 options for college credit through advanced placement, dual and concurrent credit. The dual credit is when students go to a college and gain the credit. Concurrent credit is when students gain that college credit at their own buildings. Those courses are offered to high school students, as well as the unique opportunities presented through our International Baccalaureate at East, Early College Academy at Northwest, Northeast Magnet, and North Biomed programs. However, each high school has concurrent and dual credit opportunities for all their students that are in the specific high schools. So as I noted earlier, we are working with our team to develop a systemic approach to tracking the college hours earned by our students. Our greatest challenge is that we can identify students in course offerings as part of their high school day. But right now, we don't have a way to identify those seniors, for example, who go to a college campus in the afternoon if they have a pass card their senior year, taking those courses directly from college or university. So we will continue to work through this challenge and look forward to bringing something to you soon so we can continue to track our students that are gaining college credits. Our next lead measure is AVID at all levels. AVID stands for Advancement via Individual Determination. AVID is about closing the opportunity gap in college graduation rates among diverse and underrepresented demographic groups. The AVID effect is realized through the delivery of inquiry-based and student-centered instruction, which increases levels of effectiveness for both students and teachers. The power of AVID is the ability to impact students in the AVID elective class and all students throughout the campus. AVID can have an effect on the entire school by providing classroom activities, teaching practices, and academic behaviors that can be incorporated into any classroom to improve engagement and success for all students. So as you see on the slide of our AVID seniors, 100% graduation rate for last year's 2019 seniors. 90% of them completed a 4-year college entrance requirements. 90% of middle school AVID students enrolled in Algebra 1 or higher level math, which is exciting because that is one of our early warning indicators for math. While our 2020 graduating seniors are not done with their success journey yet, we know that of the 220 AVID seniors currently in our district, 130 have received college acceptances so far, receiving 42 scholarships, totaling $269,000 in scholarships awarded. We also have AVID students who are amongst the finalists for 6 large scholarships, including the Dell, Rudd, and WSU Distinguished Scholars. We look forward to sharing more when we introduce all of our Wichita Public School student scholarship recipients to you in May. The next lead measure is our FAFSA and ACT focus. FAFSA stands for Free Application for Federal Student Aid. Every year, the U.S. Department of Education gives over $120 billion in federal grants, loans, and work-study funds to more than 13 million college students. We want to make sure that our seniors take advantage of these grants so college and technical schools can be attainable. We don't want the cost of post-secondary education to be a barrier. So October 1st was the first day that students can fill out the FAFSA, so we encourage all our current seniors, if you have not done so, to make sure that you are completing your FAFSA as soon as possible since it's a first come, first serve. Thanks to our College and Career Center coordinators that have made it their goal to increase the number of seniors that have completed the FAFSA at each high school. We also partnered with WSU Tech's program called College Advantage, who assists schools in the completion of the FAFSA. We also have added the requirement of seniors who apply for pass cards second semester to complete the FAFSA. These are just some of the lead measures and the actions taking place in order for the lead measure to be met. From January 31st, 2019 to the same date in 2020, 43% increase in applications were submitted for the FAFSA, and 38% increase in applications were actually completed, which is exceptional because one of our goals was to make sure that we can increase the FAFSA completion. Also, in 2020, will be the second year that all high school juniors will take the ACT at no cost. That date is February 25th for all juniors to take the ACT for free. That is the state's commitment to support this opportunity for Kansas kids, including our students here in the Wichita Public Schools. Our next lead measure is employability skills. I think we could spend an entire presentation talking about the opportunities we afford students to develop and evaluate employability skills and explore career opportunities through real-world experiences. The photo you see here on the slide is from the recent grand opening of the landing at East High. This awesome project engaged 3 different pathways at East and is allowing students to operate their own business within the high school environment that will perpetuate opportunities we provide students to explore careers, including construction, graphic design, business, and entrepreneurship. I want to give a shout out to East High Principal Sarah Richardson, DECA instructor Shanna Zimmerman, and the entire East High team for this really creative and entrepreneurial project to live our district's mission. All across our district, we encourage students to participate in organizations that are acutely focused on career development. Some of the organizations which engage our students are the Health Occupation Students of America, BPA, known as Business Professionals of America, DECA, you've heard some of these at our CTE awards, Future Educators of America, FCCLA, that's the Family, Career, and Community Leaders of America, Future Health Professionals, Skills USA, Technology Student Association, YEK, known as Youth Entrepreneurs of Kansas, and many others. For many, the opportunity to explore careers early and to make contacts with professionals in our community shapes lives and impacts the opportunity for Wichita to retain its best and brightest young people to remain here and contribute to the growth of our community. With some other types of examples, we have partners in middle schools that support career exploration through Dream Keepers, Girls Who Code, and Girls Who Build. Just some more examples of what we provide here in the Wichita Public Schools. I know sometimes you don't really think of some of the opportunities, but there is so many opportunities for our students to engage in career opportunities. It's extremely amazing.
So as we look forward to Volume 3, which will be shared with you at the April meeting, we'll also have an opportunity to share at that time next steps. And so I can't tell you all the details yet, but I will tell you we are bubbly excited about some things that will be coming down the pipe. One will include another exciting aviation partnership, expansion of AVID at the elementary level, launch of an internship program, implementation of the tracking of college credits that Ms. Alvarez and I both have shared a little bit about. And I can say with a high level of confidence that the opportunities that we are able to provide for our students in Wichita Public Schools related to career exploration and college credit opportunities are unparalleled in this area. So increasing collaboration with businesses to further enhance the development of our community's future talent is imperative to our community's success, and we are committed to it. And while we know we still have work to do, we hope that you will share the excitement and pride and forward movement that we've shared with you this evening. And so with that said, we welcome your questions and comments.
Julie?
Thank you. This is a great presentation. It's exciting, the opportunities for our kids. You guys gave us this sheet that lists all of the different career and technical ed programs that we have in Wichita Public Schools. If a student was looked at this and was interested in a particular area, how would they know what high school is the one that offers that particular
That particular pathway.
Yeah.
And so there are a couple ways a student can learn about the pathways that are offered across the district. One of the easy places to look is our website, under Career Technical Education, there are tabs that show not only the listing of all of our pathways, but there are also listed pathways by school.
Okay.
So they could do that, as well as they could speak to a counselor or the college career coordinator at the school that they currently attend to learn more information.
Okay, thank you.
Stan?
I just got three quick questions. Number one, is the 10%, is that a kind of a, sounds very attainable. Are we setting the bar a little low there? I mean, it seems like everyone almost ought to be thinking about whether they're going to do college or career. That's what I mean.
So, one of the things about measurable goals is that if we've accomplished that, then we need to set the bar higher.
Okay.
But we have set 10% just as an ambitious goal. When you think 10, it sounds like a pretty ambitious number to achieve. Our goal personally, is to surpass that and be able to set it even higher.
That's kind of what I thought.
Dan, I'm also going to just kind of chime in here. Anytime with the strategic plan, our plan is going to be really fluid.
Okay.
So as we think about our goals, any of our goals in any of our area, if we get to those goals, then it's the responsibility as we come back in volume 2 to say, we've met this goal, and so we're going to keep this same goal, but we're going to push it up a little bit higher. And so all of those things will happen as we continue to move along throughout the year, as we set new goals for the next year. Though that's what the plan is going to be, is fluid.
That's good to hear, because I know that was also a concern with the school safeties. We set a goal and we already kind of reached it. So I was kind of hoping that we keep moving forward on that.
As well as we will continue to identify additional indicators.
Yeah.
And so, this year, we started off with the measurement related to CTE completion. And we've recognized, while implementing that work, we also need to track not only completion of CTE pathways, but certifications earned. And another indicator would be college credits earned. So we'll continue to add those indicators as we identify those and hear from you and from our other stakeholders, as well as our district site team that we now meet with as well.
And then the second question I have is, what does the research say when a student starts thinking about college or careers? Is it around sixth grade?
Actually, prior to even calling it career, if you, some of our reading and some of our work that we're doing with our individual plan of studies states, even at elementary level, we start talking about what are your interests? What are your hobbies? What do you like doing for fun? And even though we're not talking specifically about careers, it's beginning to plant the seed in students' minds that this is something that I like doing and I enjoy doing. And then as we continue with their individual plan of study work, then we begin to make connections to the type of careers and jobs and things that are related to that.
I appreciate you saying that, because when we had Dr. Watson here, Kansas Department of Education, he really stressed, instead of saying, what job do you want? He stressed, we need to start emphasizing, what do you love to do? And so that, I'm glad to hear that. Okay, my final question is, are we stressing that it's okay that if you get started in one pathway and you decide, oh, this isn't for me, or another pathway comes to their attention and maybe it draws more, they decide they like that better, do they have some flexibility to move back and forth of one, or are we making them make a commitment very early and then they're kind of stuck in it?
Most definitely, we want students to explore, and when they identify something that they really enjoy doing, to be able to select that as a pathway if they like to do so. I don't know if you recall this evening when Mr. Means was asking the question to, or maybe it was Ms. Logan, I'm sorry, that asked to the students, how many of you started with a certain pathway and are thinking about a career related to that, or maybe differently? And that's okay. What we want students to be aware of are just all the different opportunities that we offer within the district, and then our job is to try to help match them with either pathways or extracurricular opportunities to learn more about that.
And that's why we heard tonight that there were several students who've at least taken a couple classes, and I think I heard 4 different pathways. Okay. Thank you.
Mike?
Yeah, a couple questions. The first one, get this one out of the way. Why are we using ninth grade algebra as an indicator? What is, I never passed ninth grade algebra to begin with, and I did pretty good in real life. Why
Well,
are
we
we
know-
using that?
Yeah, well, we know that algebra is an important step to completing the other math progression as they go up. So if a student can pass algebra by the end of ninth grade, just statistically, they'll be on track to graduate. So we want to make sure that we're providing the necessary supports for students to complete Algebra 1.
In
Okay.
addition to that, it also is a course that helps our students be better prepared for those rigorous and advanced courses that are college preparatory and even related to some of our career pathways. So being able to pass Algebra 1 successfully, we're setting them up for success for those other advanced coursework that they'll be taking as they progress through their high school career and even college.
And I understand that for college. If you're going to college, you need Algebra 1 to go on with the math and get through the 4 years in that. And I get that. I understand also that the third grade reading skills is an indicator, and that's more of an indicator to me, because if you can't read, you can't do anything. That really limits what you can do. And so that's why I'm confused that ninth grade algebra, as I worked in the construction industry, I used algebra very, very, very little, but I used geometry a whole lot. And I used geometry in everyday life. It just kind of got me nervous and wondering why, I could see English continuing on to be an indicator and things like that. Another question was, on your slide, you've got, in 2023, we're going to have 986 kids graduate for our 10%. Am I reading that right? Am I understanding that? It's on page something. Goal 3. It's our goal number 3 by 2023 is what the slide says. There it is. So I'm assuming that 986 kids is what we're targeting to graduate in 2023 from the CTE program?
A full completion of that CTE program,
Right.
that pathway.
Now, my question is you started out in 2018 when we had 897 students graduate or complete the education. How many kids were in the programs or in our school district in high school that the 897 came out of? And then can we extrapolate that number in 2023, the number of kids that are going to be in the CTE, because I'm assuming we're expecting our CTE programs to continue to grow. So if we've got, I don't know how to use the numbers, but say we had 900 kids in 2018, and we've got 1,400 kids in 2023, is the 10% the number of kids we actually have in the program at that time, or where does that number come from?
So the.
And I understand our graduation rates are really hard to calculate and figure out, and if that's part of it, then that's an answer that I get.
Maybe I could help a little bit. The pathway completion is separate from our graduation rates. So when we talk about pathway completion, we're talking about students who have entered into a particular CTE classroom or pathway, and they completed and have some type of either a certification or that they have a certificate of some sort that they've completed the pathway, which is separate from graduation, because there are kids who may be a ninth grader or a 10th grader that may complete a pathway and get a certification or a certificate or something to that effect, but of course, they're not ready for graduation yet. And then they may go into another pathway and they may complete it also and get a certificate of some sort for something. So we have two separate things here. Our graduation rate is there, and we have our goal there. And then we have our goal of students that we want to complete pathways in the CTE programming. Does that help some?
That helps some. I mean, I'm
Okay.
still trying to figure out, we're saying that we want to graduate 986 kids in 2023 to make our 10%. Is that, I'm having a hard time because there's no way to know how many kids we're going to have in the program in 2023. Because if it continues to grow and do this, and we keep adding pathways, and we keep doing this, which we should, because I believe in CTE, does that number have to go up?
That's what we were talking about earlier, about the plan being really fluid.
Okay,
So for instance, let's just say in 2020, we get to this number. Well, when we come back in whatever we come back with this, we will have adjusted that to make it a higher number.
okay.
So we'll just continue to, that's why I said this, your plan, that's what makes the beauty of it, is that it's fluid. So you make goals, you accomplish them, you may get new indicators, new lead measures, and all of those things that help us to continue to get to those lag measures. So again, that's our goal, but if we get there, we'll move the number up again.
Okay, that makes sense.
As
My
well
last-
as communicate with you why we don't believe we're hitting that target, or why we believe we are going to surpass that target and we need to establish new targets.
Well, I'm sure we're gonna surpass that target. I have no doubts. It's just,
We're going to surpass all of our targets.
there you go. You've got that recorded, right? You can put that. I may need to play that back. Now you made me forget my last question. I've been getting a lot of calls from parents, and a lot means 3 or 4, about CTE classes and the college-ready courses, stuff that we're doing with friends. And I think I shared one of those with you. And I've had all those go back to their principals and talk to them, and I really haven't heard back from them, which I wish I would have a little bit, just to see where they ended up. But there's a lot of people that are going, why can't I go, what do I have to do? My school doesn't have this CTE, and I want to be in that CTE. Are we going to make opportunity, like the IB program that we have at East and have had at East, the aviation programs we've got, and the deal at Northwest? Are we going to make that easier for kids to get into and move kids from school to school? Or how in the future, because as this gets bigger and bigger and more people start to realize what's going on, we may have to start moving kids because they want to take something they can't do, or because we can't put every CTE in every high school. I mean, that's something that's obvious.
And of course, those will be discussions that would have to happen as if those things occur. Currently, there are opportunities for kids to kind of maneuver through. There are some that do. Because we have so many career and technical education opportunities and choices, a lot of times those students find things that they want to do. But if there are incidents where there are kids who would like to go to other places, those things are already made available for those kids. Sometimes the transportation can be provided, and sometimes it cannot. But we also have to be careful with our high schools with that moving and shifting and where they go to school, because especially if they play sports, because there are rules and regulations that we have to follow in order for kids to continue to play sports. So all of those things are kind of taken on an individual basis. We encourage kids to talk to their counselors and parents to talk to principals, and then those things can be worked out and vetted all the way through to make sure that they're not being jeopardized in their sport, in the ability to play in their sports and all those other kinds of things. So it is already happening, but we take those individually so that we make sure that kids are able to do all of the things that they want to do legally with sports and everything else. Does that make sense?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
Ernestine?
Mike, I know already of a big brother who was worried about his little brother in one of the high schools was about to drop out. And there was a CTE program, a pathway, at a different school that the big brother, maybe in his 20s, found out about, and the school district transferred the young man. He got excited. He wasn't going to drop out now because he really got excited. It was to be in aviation somehow. And so I know that the district is already doing the accommodation on an individual basis when asked for that. And he just rides a public bus to get to the school that has it. I want to know if, like, back to the 9th grade algebra thing, apparently. Does our district have, do we pay for tutors? Do we have tutors that we give lists of tutors to parents that can then hire their own tutors? How do we tutor when there's a kid that's in the 9th grade doing the algebra? I think it's interesting that you've avoided, I had a son that loved algebra, and he deliberately flunked geometry.
You want to talk about the tutoring, like Wednesday night tutoring?
Sure. We have a lot of different opportunities for tutoring. I know some of the high schools will have tutors that are available right after school, but we also have a district-wide Wednesday night tutoring that occurs.
Is that by teachers?
Yes.
Okay.
There's teachers that are there to help tutor, especially for, it's anyone, but athletes in particular that may be waiting to practice or after practice to make sure that they get help as well. There's also the time during advocacy time where they can go visit the teachers. If during the school time, there's that 40-minute advocacy where they can go visit and get tutored by teachers as well, if they need the
Okay,
extra
and those
help.
are by district employees that
Correct.
like teachers that'll do that. Do we ever suggest, have a list in a high school where they could hire tutors who may or may not be teachers, but to help them at home, for example?
If we are aware of those tutors, sometimes we have staff that on their own time choose to do tutoring, and we have those names, and we will share those names with families if we're aware of that need. We also have Homework Hotline that is
I'm glad you mentioned that. And I
manned
think we ought to
by
put that
our
number up.
district staff, and students can call or email in the evening time or FaceTime during the evening time when many are sitting around the table doing homework at home, and there are certified staff that are there to assist them and tutor them. And those numbers show that our students are taking full advantage of that program as well.
That's great.
Ben?
I just wanted to end by giving a shout out to my fellow math nerds. You know, some of us actually enjoyed Algebra 1 and still do. I was actually, here's a little anecdote about me. In middle school, I was in an extracurricular math club, and we would take written math tests competitively on a local, regional, and state level. And back in 7th grade, my team made it to state. And that's how I found my first girlfriend, too.
Hey, I liked math too. I went to college as a math major, and then I found out that even seniors still had the answers at the back of the book. So I switched to political science where no one knew the answers.
Julie?
To go back to the Algebra 1 thing again, I think I remember from a previous discussion that, that you told us that that was a prerequisite for other math courses, and those other math courses plus the prerequisite were required for high school graduation. Am I remembering that correctly?
Yes, I would definitely say that, even though algebra is a little bit different than geometry as well, but when you get to Algebra 2, that foundation is necessary for progression.
And so, and is it even a prerequisite for geometry, or is geometry
It is, it's multiple reasons. It's the prerequisite for math courses, for those higher level math courses, So it is something that is required before the geometry, even though they're not directly
Right, they're
related.
different, yeah, different types
But
of
it
math.
also is applicable to some of the science courses that students take. So it lays a foundation for higher level math, it lays the foundation for physics and other type of science courses. It's a high school graduation requirement. And again, it's one of the courses, when you read literature around high school graduation, that if students pass Algebra 1, those students are on the trajectory of being high school graduates and better prepared, positioned for career and college preparatory type of classes.
And I will tell you, let's keep in mind our strategic plan is to prepare kids to be college and/or career ready. It's not our job to determine who gets to be prepared to go to college. Students make those choices, and our job is to prepare them to be able to make a choice to go to college or for a career. And if they don't take algebra, they don't get to choose whether they go to college or not because we didn't prepare them. So we have to think about what our mission is and what our goals are, and that is to prepare kids to be college and/or career ready so that they can make the choice and have the skill sets to be able to make the choice to go to college if they choose to or not. But we got to get them ready so that they can make a choice.
That's good.
Mike?
And I want to apologize. I didn't realize my Algebra 1 question was going to be such a deterrent here from, from the topic. And so I want to go back and I want to say our CTE program is an excellent program, and we should be very, very, very proud of our folks that are running it and dealing with it and finding new ways to educate our children. And I want to make sure that point gets made more than the Algebra 1 question gets made. And so I apologize for bringing that up, but it apparently was informational.
Yeah,
So,
very informational.
Again, Jim means thank you for what you've done. Thank you.
Okay, I'm seeing no other questions, so thank you very much for an excellent report.
thank
We
you.
appreciate it. Next item.